Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the second round of the Mad Bull Racing League versus the Extreme Racing League. I am, of course, Mike, going to be taking you through the action. As you can see, for round two, we head to the Netherlands for the Dutch Grand Prix. It's a Zandvoort circuit, as we will be diving into the lobby right now. So, as you guys can see, everyone loading up into the lobby. Of course, this circuit has been around since 1952. It's been a part of the F1 calendar, recently reintroduced to the F1 calendar. This 4.2 kilometer circuit, definitely going to be one that's going to test these drivers out on track. 15 drivers here tonight, of course, after the issues that we had on Sunday for round number one. This is a police station only lobby, so hopefully we'll have less screen freezes. Of course, we did have the update that came out today, so hopefully that has solved a lot of the screen freezes and issues that we get in these lobbies. But hopefully, with it being just PlayStation, we should be all good, as we have our first set of drivers heading out on track right now. So we'll jump on board with the Alfa Romeo of IG Alex, who took pole last time out at Belgium and definitely one to keep an eye on. He definitely looks like he has the overall pace. Of course, from a Extreme Racing League standpoint, they got the big man in here tonight, Connor, who I've had the privilege of commentating over. A very quick driver, very consistent, and can get the job done. So it's going to be interesting to see how Connor fares against Alex, because Alex definitely looked like he was a class above last time out at Spa. Of course, 14 corners around this track, and we'll go on board with Alex, completely on board with him, for a lap of the Zandvoort circuit. As we come through the final corner, all about minimising loss of time through the final corner and getting the best run possible down in towards turn one. DRS wide open, breaking at the 50-metre board. Third gear, the gear of choice there for Alex, as he upshifts into fourth. Now through turn two, very easy to lose the car there, and through the hairpin of turn number three. Now is foot to the floor as you go through the kink of turn four and the kinks of turn 5 and 6 before coming into turn number 7. Sixth gear there for Alex, now braking just before the 50-metre board through turn number 8, and now through turn 9. Fourth gear, making sure you get the traction down 50-metre board once again, turning in as DRS will be activated on the rundown in towards turn number 11. As the curb starts on the left, that's where you're braking in. You see Alex here taking quite a bit of the inside curb to try and open up the corner of turn 12, but now into 13. Little bit of a clip on the inside curb there at 13, but now through turns number 14 to the line he'll come. And this is going to be a benchmark time from IG Alex, and it's going to be a 1 minute 9.4. As we have a AlphaTauri coming to the line, is Carden, definitely another driver to keep our eyes on. He was looking quick as well last week at Spa, as Andrew also putting a very competitive time with a 9.6. As we're getting times coming in now. FC Wrong, the fan favourite from last week, will we have his support in again this week? He has done a 10.8. Flipnams around with a 10.7, just pipping him to P6. Connor on the set of intermediates with a 13.6, and Connor does this quite a lot. He does his first lap on the set of the intermediates and gets himself rearing to go for another lap on the set of the softs, trying to save a set. Laupy on an outlap, as I believe that was Sharpie going across the line up into P3 with a 9.9. Sir Ibo, the man, the myth, the legend in the Scuderia Ferrari, coming down into turn 1, braking a little bit earlier, so definitely not looking like he has much confidence around this track than some of the other guys here tonight. But for Ibo, getting a lap time on the board is more important than not. We saw what happened last week with some drivers not being able to get lap times on the board, and it really did come back to hinder them in the race itself. Of course, last time out at Spa, we did see a massive incident which took out all the front runners that were Mad Bull Racing League at the time. It wiped them all out, and we ended up with a podium consisting of all drivers from Extreme Racing League. So I think Extreme Racing League are leading this at the moment. I haven't seen any standings to confirm this, but I think with the 1, 2, 3 they are leading the way. As we got Ibo now to the line, we'll see what he can do. He's getting a bit of a tow, and he crosses the line with a 14 flat. Laupi on his lap now as he's coming through turn 10. DRS wide open, middle sector. Let's see what he can do in this middle sector. What's the split saying? It's a 50.9. Not as quick as what we've seen so far, but definitely will have time to improve out there. As Laupi through the final corner now. Not getting the smoothest of turn-ins through the final corner, but to the line will come Laupi, and it's a 12.8. As Ibo is doing a bit of gardening out there on track. He is cutting some grass. Skid Solo will be going on a flying lap now, so we'll stay on board with Skid Solo and we'll see how he gets on. As he starts us off down in towards turn number 1. A little bit of traffic coming out of the pit lane, needs to stay out the way, and it does. I believe that was either Sinful or Flip Namzaram. I believe it was Flip Namzaram coming out of the pit lane there and getting out of the way sharpest. Skid Solo now to the first sector split. 25.1. It's not horrible, but it's not looking great for Skid Solo on his first flying lap. Definitely not looking too confident is the man in the Haas tonight. Not looking like he's familiar with the braking points around this circuit. Definitely with the update must have cut into his practice time, and you can tell early on. So he's just trying to feel out the track at the start here in qualifying. Just over 10.5 minutes to go in the session. Skid Solo will come to the line now, and he'll set a benchmark time for himself of a 1 minute 11.9. As the man on provisional pole right now, IG Alex, opening DRS once again as he flies down to the middle sector split. Has he gained time? He has gained time, but it's not enough at the moment to beat his current lap time of a 9.4. Oh, gets a bit squirrely on the exit of turn 12. And once again catching a big slap through turn 13. And this is not going to be an improved lap time from Alex. Andrew out there on track as well. We're going to see if Andrew improves his lap time. He's currently on a 9.6. To the line he'll come. And it's a 9.2. Takes provisional pole position away from Alex. I believe Connor's out there on lap as well. And he's 3 seconds up in the middle sector. We'll see if he can get close to the legs of Alex and Andrew. For the final corner comes Connor. DRS wide open to the line, he'll come, and it's going to be a 9.5, so he is up there, but definitely more time to find. Rockstar currently in 4th, 9.7 for him. Flip Namzaram, I believe, has just improved and put himself up in the P6 with a 10 flat. FT Ronk unable to improve on his lap time. TB Ran, I believe he's just finished 6/10 improvement, 10.2 for him. Swiss Steak now just starting his lap, currently in the Aston Martin, currently down in P11. He's going to be looking to get himself into the top 10, and we'll see if Swiss Steak is able to do that. First sector split, Any improvements? Yes, it is. It's just over a 10th improvement. He needs more though. He needs half a second to jump himself into the top 10, and he's just missed his turning slightly, and that has compromised him through turns 9 and through turns 8 and 9 as we go through turn number 10 now. DRS wide open for Swiss Steak down towards the middle sector split, and yet you can see he's lost all the time in the middle sector there through that one mistake. Can he gain anything in the final sector? That's the question. As we go through turn 13, DRS wide open as we go through 14, and now to the line. What's it going to be for Swiss Steak? 2 tenths improvement is a 10.8, and he knows there's more time there. Laupy on a lap. 10th up in the first sector. And we got Sinful out on track as well. The only man that's yet to set a lap time. He's currently out on track. A bit further behind than Laupy. So we'll stay on board with Laupy, and then we'll jump on the Sinful for the end of his lap. DRS wide open on the run down in towards turn number 11. Half a second improvement for Laupy. He is improving massively, but he needs more. A lot more. He needs another half a second here in his final sector just to get on level terms with Skid Solo. And I don't think he's going to find that, but he definitely will be a lot closer as we come to the line for Laupy, and it's going to be a 12.4. In fact, he lost time in the final sector. Now with Sinful, middle sector split. 50.6 in the middle sector, and I think in fact he's actually aborted his lap and he's going to go again. So we'll stay on board with Sinful. In the comments, we got FT Wrong saying good evening, thanks for streaming, and let's race. Indeed, let's race, and there's no need to thank me for streaming, as Alex there puts in a new pole position time of 9.1. IG Alex retaking provisional pole position away from Andrew. Andrew is out on track though, so it's going to be interesting to see if Andrew will gain enough time to retake that pole position. But we are currently on board with Sinful in the middle sector. Yet to set a lap time on the board. Big moment on the exit of turn 10, and that has cost him his lap. But it is a 49.9 in the middle sector, so it's definitely worth finishing this lap. Although he's not going to be improving many positions after that moment. But to the line will come Sinful, and he should be around Skid Solo. And yes, he is. He just nips in ahead. 4 tenths improvement on Skid Solo. Now we'll go on board with Andrew in the middle sector. Coming through turn 12 now. Andrew looking to retake provisional pole position away from Alex as we go through the final corner now. Andrew to the line. He's backed out of it. He didn't see much improvement, and he is going to come into the pits and go for it again. Barang not improving and going very deep into turn 11. He won't be happy that we caught that on the stream, but we did, and we saw him miss his braking point by about 50 meters there. Sinful going to be returned to the pit. Skid Solo as Travaglio has joined the session. Driver from Mad Bull Racing League joining the session as Skid Solo. 6 tenths improvement for him. This will get him ahead of Sinful, but he needs a bit more if he wants to get ahead of Swiss Steak. Penultimate corner now for Skid Solo. Now to the line with the Haas. And it's a 10.7. He does nip ahead of Swiss Steak there, who is out on his outlap. So Skid Solo up into P11. TB Ran out on a lap. In the middle sector, we'll have a look at his second sector split. See if there's much improvement from him. Oh, and he's nearly 3 tenths down his TB run. But fortunately for him, he can come back into the pits and get back out with a fresh set of boots on. That is definitely going to be the call for TB Ran, as he'll come into the pits now. I'm positive. Yep, and there we go. Into the pits goes the Alfa Romeo. In fact, hitting the pit board on the way into the pits. That is not ideal. Rockstar currently on a 9.7. He's going to go to the line. He's going to look for an improvement, and he is going to. Oh, he marginally misses out on improvement there. Connor just starting his final flying lap as he goes through turn 1. We're still on board with Connor. Connor, very quick driver from Extreme Racing League. Definitely one that will be trying to carry the torch here and challenge Alex and Andrew for that pole position. As we go through sector 1, marginal improvement there for Connor. As we go through turns 8 and now into turn 9. Third gear for Connor, and now we'll see if we can get turn 10 down, and he is going to have a little bit of a tow from Rockstar as we look in the middle sector, and he's over a 10th and a half up in the middle sector. Connor looking to improve, looking to get himself onto the front row. Can he challenge Alex though? Alex just coming out of the pit lane now to start his final run. Connor to the line. Is it going to be an improvement for Connor? It is going to be an improvement, and it's not enough to get him onto the front row, but a 9.2, nothing to scoff at. As Andrew there, he was at 10th up, and he goes off at turn 8 and just runs into the gravel there. Andrew's lap completely gone, but fortunately for him, Connor not able to improve and knock him off that front row. Alex is about to start his final lap, and with Connor not being able to improve, with Andrew going off, Alex potentially doesn't have to do a lot. But we'll stay on board with him nonetheless, see if he does improve. As we got drivers now coming around to start their final laps and also to finish their final laps. So we'll keep an eye on the timing towers to make sure we catch all the improvements. As we got an Alpha Tauri coming to the line. Is that karting? Not karting, but it is Parang. So I believe he's just starting a lap. We got an Aston Martin to the line. Swiss State going to be starting a lap. As Alex has definitely backed out of his lap now. In fact, that was karting starting his lap. So we'll see Rockstar retiring in the pit lane. Karting marginally up in the first sector as we go through turn number 7 into turn 8. It's a nice line, doesn't run off track, doesn't do an Andrew. But oh, he's just not turned in enough for turn 9, and that has cost him massively as he runs off track. And yep, there we go, 7 tenths down, and that's his session over and done with. Swiss Take in the pits. That is the other Alpha Tauri of Parang off. And I believe that's Flipnams Ram joining him. Yes, it is. As Travaglio, I believe, is on his only flying lap. He's in the McLaren. DRS wide open for Travaglio. Obviously, he was up there with Andrew and Alex last week in Belgium, but with the lack of run time here in qualifying, definitely will be difficult for him to get up there again this time. Checker flag is out on the session. Travaglio, I think, is going to be the only man who's going to be seeing any improvement to his lap time. In fact, he's going to come into the pits and retire from the session. Ibo to the line. 13.9 for Ibo. Any improvements for the Ferrari? No, it is not. And I believe that is session over and done with. Looks like Connor running out of fuel, and Alex obviously having that moment, having that mistake on his lap, and he's backed out of it, and he'll come into the pits and retire as well. Well, that is pole position for IG Alex. Andrew will join him on the front row. And Connor will be right there on the second row. Time's incredibly close, just over a tenth separating these three drivers. Of course, you got Travaglio, a very quick driver, but came into the lobby a bit late, so unable to get the run time here in qualifying needed for him to get a lap together. As we got Zeke in chat saying, go FT Ronk. So again, the support coming out for FT Ronk here. And it's things you love to see. So there we go, we're ready for the order. It is IG Alex on pole position ahead of Andrew, who will join him on the front row. Connor and Carden share the second row with Sharpie and Rockstar on the third row. Then Flipnanza Ram and FT Ronk on the fourth row with TB Ran and Swisstack on the fifth row. Perlang in 11th for Skid Solo in 12th. Sinful in 13th. Laupi in 14th. Sir Ibo, the last of the man to set a lap time, in 15th place. And Travaglio unable to get a lap on the board, but he'll be starting from the back of the grid. As I have a sip of coffee, and it is nice to get a sip of coffee. You gotta have a sip of coffee and when preparing for a race. Quench the thirst. As we wait for these drivers now to pick their strategies, and it's a very interesting dynamic awaiting all these drivers here tonight, because safety cars are likely here at Zandvoort, and it is looking pretty cloudy, so we could be seeing some changeable conditions, and in the wet it can get a little bit tricky for these guys. So let me know in the chat right now your predictions for the podium finishers. Who is going to be taking the race win? Who is going to be joining the race winner on the podium? I want to see predictions in the chat. Honestly, I think Alex for the win. I'm going to go Connor second, and do you know what? I'm going to go with a last to third Travaglio. That is my podium prediction. So let's have a look at the tyre strategies everyone has opted for. It is mediums for Alex and Andrew early on. Connor going for a set of the hard compound tyres. Mediums for Carden, Sharpie, Rockstar, Flipnam Ram and FT Ronk. TB Ran opting for a set of the soft compound tyres, and he's the only one opting for the Red Bull tyre, so he's going to be one to keep an eye on early on. Swisstick on the set of the mediums, Perlang on the set of the hards, Skid Solo on the set of the mediums. Then we got a double hard runners of Sinful and Laupi, and then at the back Ibo and Travaglio opting for a set of the medium compound tyres. 36 laps awaiting these 16 drivers, and it looks like Ibo and Travaglio have made contact and both been disqualified from the formation lap, which is not what you like to see. As Connor backing off and making sure he can get his tyres heated up, and that is going to affect slightly Alex and Andrew's tyres, because they are also trying to get their tyres heated up, but the longer they're waiting on the grid, the cooler their tyres are going to be, and that could be a strategy there from Connor. And there we see the possible race strategies. The one stop, lap 17, mediums to the hards. And apparently a soft medium strategy is possible, so maybe TB Ran has opted for the quicker of the strategies. Who knows? As, oh my god, Connor has lit up his tyres and he has gone absolutely flying around, absolute ballet dancing on track, pirouette, and it's a score from the 10 from the judges as everyone takes up their grid positions as we await for those 5 red lights to get us underway. And here we go for those 5 red lights. FT Ronk with a drive-through penalty, but his lights out and we are underway. FT Ronk jumping the line early on, and that is going to cost him Sharpie. I'm going to look around the outside of Cardin early on, as it looks like Sharpie, is he going to be able to get that done? No, he's going to have to stick in behind the Alpha Tauri, as we got Flipnams, a Ram and Rockstar side by side, as FT Ronk falls to the back of the grid after jumping the race start, as TB ran on the set of the soft tyres, going to be looking to try and make moves as well. Unable to get it done so far. Back up towards the front, the top 3 remain as they are Alex, Andrew, Connor. And it looks like Cardin is going to be putting in a bit of a challenge as well on Connor. On board with Sharpie as it currently stands, because Sharpie dropping back a little bit from Cardin. Cardin trying to put Connor under pressure. Remember, Connor on the set of the hard compound tyres doesn't have the grip of the other drivers around him early on. And he needs to make sure that he can stay in this train. Skid Solo already dropping out that 1 second. Just creeping back in now as we begin lap 2 of 36. A little bit of a timing glitch going on between a couple of these drivers, Carton and Sharpie. Apparently massively around, and there's Carton, and he's around into the wall. And will that trigger an early safety car? FT Ronk serving his drive-through penalty in the pit lane. Carton around. It's all gone wrong again for DZ Carton. It happened last week at Belgium, where it all just fell apart for him, and it's happened again. TB ran now actually up into P5 as Rockstar and Flipnams Ram dropping down the order massively, as Travaglio making moves, getting himself up into P12 ahead of Sinful now. So it is a Williams sandwich with a McLaren fill-in right now, as Travaglio splits the 2 Williams drivers and is trying to make his way up the order. The top 2 broken away from Connor. The 1 second gap is there now, and Connor will be under pressure now, because he does have Sharpie and TB Ran directly behind him. TB Ran on the set of the soft compound tyres, Sharpie on the set of the mediums, and they are going to have the grip advantage for some further laps, that is for sure. As Parang doing well, keeping onto the back of Skid Solo here for P6. Laupy, where Laupy is around, and oh my god, that Swiss stake around as well. Laupy's out of this race. Someone has actually just gone straight into Laupy. Laupy losing it through turn 1. I'm not sure if there was any contact there for Laupy. I think he just lost it himself. There's a virtual safety car though. It's not a full course safety car, so this does equalise the race slightly, and it does actually save Connor a little bit, because now Connor won't have to worry about DRS down in towards turn number 11, and potentially might not have to worry about DRS down in towards turn 1, but it is a DNF early on for Laupy in a McLaren, losing it through turn 1, and someone going straight into him. I'm not sure who went into him, but TB Ran picks up a drive-through penalty. Sharpies picks up a drive-through penalty, and I think that's IG Alex with a drive-through penalty as well. We're going to have to check that. Checking it. Yes, it is. IG Alex with a drive-through penalty comes immediately into the pits to serve it, and he picks up a 5-second time penalty, and nah, he's not going to retire from the race immediately, is he? Surely not. Don't retire from the race just because you picked up a drive-through penalty. There's still a lot of laps to go. But IG Alex does pick himself up a 5-second time penalty. He does serve his drive-through penalty. He comes out in P7. Rockstar not quite there enough to get the overtake done. Carton picking up a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane as well, and he's retired in the pits. It's lap 4:36, lads. There's so much left in this race. What can go wrong early on can be rectified by one safety car. But now we have a interesting dynamic, because now we have Andrew leading the way, 2.3 seconds ahead of Connor. Sharpie all over the back of Connor, but does have a drive-through penalty himself. So he's going to have to peel off into the pits. Perang is the next man then behind Connor. That is a late call to come into the pits from Sharpie. I'm not entirely too happy with that. Skid Solo around the outside of Perang into turn number 1. They're wheel to wheel, they're side by side, and it looks like Perang may just about have it. No, Skid Solo gets through and up into P3. The podium position now for Skid Solo, Perang in P4. Travaglio from the back of the grid up into P5. So you may have been wondering about, why did you pick Travaglio to potentially get a podium? Look, I just know these things, guys. I know these things. Mad Bull Racing will be very pleased with the progress Travaglio has made, and with Alex being able to come through as well, he definitely has the pace on the likes of Perang and Skid Solo. It's a question of whether they'll catch up to Connor and Andrew. Remember, Alex does have that 5-second time penalty to serve in the pit lane as well, but he has so much pace. He's definitely going to be climbing the order. As Perang now on the back of Skid Solo for the podium position. You see Travaglio in the background, 2.5 seconds back as Perang down the inside. Little bit of wheel-to-wheel contact between the pair of them, but Perang gets the move done, and Travaglio now got that gap down to 2.4 seconds as Alex is closing down Travaglio as well, and that is a Red Bull around. That is Sharpie losing it on the exit of turn 1, and he's rejoining, and he's going to slot in into P11 just ahead of Sir Ibo. FT Ronk after, oh my god, Andrew's gone. Andrew has lost it. Andrew losing it through turn 8, and that has allowed Connor to take the lead on the set of the hard compound tyres. And now this makes things very interesting. Very interesting indeed now things have been made. Because Travaglio closing up to the back of Perang and Skid Solo. You got Alex closing up to the back of Travaglio, so Alex definitely the man with the most pace at the moment. Travaglio is going to catch and overtake Perang and Skid Solo, I would imagine, as Skid Solo with DRS once again getting past Perang for P3. It's a question of how quick is Alex going to be after he makes his pit stop, as Perang trying to fight back against Skid Solo but unable to get it done. And now Travaglio within that 1 second window that he needs, and Alex is almost in 1 second as well, and he might just be in 1 second now as he gets a good run out of turn number 3, and he is on the teetering edge of that 1 second. But now Travaglio will have a little bit of traffic in front of him, will be held up slightly, so it should allow Alex to get comfortably within DRS for this next DRS straight. Travaglio now on the back of Perang has a lot more ERS to use than the Alpha Tauri. Oh, as Perang gets a little bit out of shape, and that's gonna, oh, Travaglio's in the wall, and TB Ran is around, and that's a full course safety car. That is a full course safety car confirmed now as we go on board with Andrew. Yep, the full course safety car is out. It says virtual safety car on the screen for me, but it is a full course safety car, and there we go, it has changed. Full course safety car here on lap 8. Carden, you will be absolutely kicking yourself now because you gave up too early. As Alex into the pits, going to get rid of that 5-second time penalty and switches tyres. Travaglio also coming into the pits and had to get a fresh set of rubber on his car. Skid Solo doing the same as well. And what this does is gives Andrew a free pit stop as well. Will Connor come into the pits as well for a set of the medium compound tyres? And that's the question, because the mediums definitely are quicker than the hards. But will he gamble? Will he take that risk? We saw lap 17, the pit stop strategy from mediums to the hards. Safety car apparently in this lap. I think we've had a safety car glitch. We have had a big safety car glitch here on lap 8 as we start in lap 9. This is not great. Not great at all. As it's allowed Connor, Prang and Andrew to absolutely bolt away. Please tell me the safety car stays in the pit lane and doesn't come back out. The safety car is in the pit, so that is one good thing, but we have just seen a big old glitch here on lap 8. As Rockstar trying to have a look on skid solo, trying to get that move done. Alex is here as well. Oh, he's getting cut off. That's going to allow Flip to have a little peek at him, but it's not going to go for it. Ooh, as everything now is a little bit up in the air. The top 3 have almost a pit stop advantage. I mean, Andrew and Prang definitely have a pit stop advantage over the rest of the grid. Connor will gain a pit stop advantage, but now let's look at this battle for P4 between Sinful and Skid Solo. Skid Solo on the set of the fresh hard compound tyres. Rockstar's in the mix, Alex is in the mix, Flipnam Zaram's in the mix, and so is Travaglio. Alex needs to pick his opportunity well here. As Sinful and Rockstar getting a little bit out of shape there as they go through turn number 8. As Sinful there hopping the curb, and he's around, well, almost around as he loses out to Alex and Sinful. Travaglio's there on his outside as well. He may be looking at a little bit of a switchback here. Gets a better run. Oh, that's beautiful from Travaglio. Absolutely lined that up to perfection. Sinful dropping down the order massively. Alex now on the back of Skid Solo for P4. He needs to get this done so he can try and bridge the gap as Connor gets through on Prang for P2, and that's the gap now, 9 seconds. DRS has been enabled, and this is going to be a straight fight now between Andrew and Connor. Due to that safety car glitch, it's going to be a straight fight between those two. as Rockstar sends one down the inside of Alex here. And he is going to be trying to get that position back. Alex on the inside, Rockstar on the outside, and Alex does have a more slippy setup there as he's going to try to cover off Rockstar. As Flipnams around down the inside of Rockstar for P6 now. These two scrapping it out. Alex has managed to get himself ahead now of this this group, which is good for Alex now because he can try and pull himself away. Skid Solo has almost a 1 second gap to Flipnams around. Oh, Rockstar, he's going to go back down the inside, and Travaglio there almost needing to make that move. As Flipnams around there gets a little bit out of shape and loses a lot of time. As FT Ronk is around, dropping down the order to P12. Of course, if you are just tuning in, unfortunately what we have seen is a safety car glitch here in as Rockstar out, and the safety car is out again. Safety car out again on lap 13, but this time the safety car came out completely. It wasn't a virtual safety car into a safety car. So what I was going to say is the safety car came out, it didn't pick up the race leaders and came back in after one lap. So the top three ended up with a whole pit stop advantage over the rest of the grid, who got held up behind the safety car. As Alex has passed the safety car, which is good. I mean, they're allowed to pass the safety car. It is good that again the safety car is, allowing them to pass. Andrew should be in the pits this lap. Connor potentially in the pits this lap. Maybe chuck on a set of a fresh set of mediums to go to the end potentially. Remember, it was lap 17 that they suggested pitting from the mediums onto the hards. That's what the game predicted. So potentially you could take the mediums to around lap 32, and then after that you can potentially just stretch it out a little bit. Stretch it out. Plan going for a set in the mediums as well. Will we see any more pit lane action? If you are tuning in to this League versus League event between Mad Bull Racing League and Extreme Racing League, this is a no assist event. My name is Ivan Mike, obviously taking you through the action as your sole commentator. And everything has now just been neutralised on lap 15 of 36. The safety car has come out. We did have a glitch safety car earlier which left the top three a pit stop ahead of the rest of the pack. Now this safety car has come out, it has equalised everything. And because everything has now been equalised, it means we can get back to some good close racing. Andrew on a set of the hard compound tyres in the best place to just go straight to the end. Connor and Palang on fresh sets of mediums will have the pace early on. The predicted pit stop strategy said pitting from lap 17 from mediums to the hard compound tyres. So technically from this moment on, 17 laps will take us to lap 32. Lap 32 is 4 laps away from the end of the race, so it is possible for these guys to take the mediums to the end, I would imagine. Stretching them an extra 4 laps after the predicted pit stop strategy seems doable in my head. So we could be seeing Connor and Perrin going to the end on the set of the mediums, but they could drop off massively at the end of this race. Alex, Skid Solo, Travaglio, Swiss Steak and FT Ronk needing to pit. They made their pit stop under the first safety car, and that was unfortunately the issue, because these guys made a pit stop and the safety car glitch left them well over a pit stop behind, because Connor also made a pit stop under the safety car and had a 20-second gap to 4th place. So safety car shenanigans causing the likes of Alex, Skid Solo, Travaglio, Swiss Steak and FT Ronk to not want to take the gamble to come into the pits and lose even more time. But they're on 8-lap-old hard compound tyres. Fliplands around on fresh hards going to the end. Sinful on fresh mediums potentially going to the end as well. Ibo on 8-lap-old hards may be able to carry them all the way to the end. Sharpie on fresh mediums definitely going to be going to the end. We've lost 4 drivers so far: Rockstar, TB Ran, Cardin and Laupy. As safety car is in this lap. And Andrew's going to get us underway, and here we go. Connor on those fresh medium tyres should be looking to get this move done ASAP. Perrin needs to make sure he doesn't get caught napping by Alex, and it looks like it's exactly what's going to happen here. Alex getting a good run, unable to get the straight line speed though that he needs to get past Perrin. But that is the danger for Perrin. He does need to be wary of the guy behind them. As Ibo losing out to Sharpie early on. Fliplands around getting past Swiss Steak there as he goes up the order, and now Connor. Fresh medium tyres. He has the grip advantage as Andrew there covering the inside line will be able to hold on to the race lead, but I have a feeling going into turn 1 it's going to be a little bit obsolete here. As through the final corner, Connor using his ERS, using the slipstream, he's going to go to the outside, outbrake the Aston Martin who just comes over to cut him off. But Connor with a fantastic switchback, unable to get done though. Alex in the background, side by side with Perrin as they go into turn 2. Alex ahead of Perrin, and that is not what Perrin needs and not what Connor needs either. Connor needs to get himself ahead of Andrew and get himself gone. Absolutely fly away. Fortunately right now he's getting he's going up against a driver who is defending incredibly well, keeping the Mercedes behind him. DRS will be enabled on the next lap, so that should make things easier for Connor. But Alex trying to defend from Perrin. Perrin is coming back at Alex into turn number 11. Alex going to hold him off though. As we've got Fliplands around with Skid Solo there, duking it out for P5. Fliplands around on the fresher compounded tyre, and Skid Solo has no ERS to deploy. And that is going to be what he needs. As Andrew squeezing Connor all the way to the end of the track as Perrin gets through on Alex as well for... Oh, I'm not sure I like this. It's a little bit too elbows out for my liking from Andrew at the moment. As it looks like Ibo has gone around Perrin, getting himself back ahead of Alex. They're 2 seconds behind Connor and Andrew. But DRS now, I mean... DRS should easily allow Connor to get past Andrew down in towards turn number 1. But Connor has used quite a lot of his ERS to no avail. I mean, but with DRS he should be able to get this done by here. As Andrew, oh my god, comes back onto the racing line after making a big mistake. And now Connor into the race lead. And because of that incident with Connor and Andrew, it's meant that the 50-meter braking board is gone, and these guys have lost their brake reference in towards turn 1. So expect a lot of people outbraking themselves into turn 1. This skid solo losing it there, as Travaglio was down the order as well. Everyone losing their bearings now in turn 1 because that brake marker board is now gone. Of course, if anyone is hearing what is going on in the stream, the 50-meter brake marker board for turn 1 is now gone. And this is why you do not use breakable objects as your braking points. You don't use them. So Connor there gets a little bit squirrely on the exit as DRS is going to be wide open again, and he should again be able to get the run on Andrew. And this time, oh, they're still wheel to wheel. This time Connor does get himself ahead of Andrew and up into P1, but for how long? Andrew sees that red flashing light, knows he has the ERS advantage. And in terms of a longevity in this race, Andrew's going to be looking a lot better. Andrew getting close to the back of Connor, not close enough though to get a move done. Parang still holding on to P3 ahead of Alex. Connor saving up a little bit of ERS, but it's not enough. But he does have the grip of those medium tyres. Andrew is going to have to use ERS to try and pull this back here. And we're going to see if he does. FT Ron gets retired from the race. That is a full course safety car. And Connor sneakily straight into the pits. Swiss State gets a 5-second time penalty. As Alex gets a 5-second for collision with Parang. That is not ideal for Alex. He's getting a front wing change as well, so that's going to drop him, lose him quite a bit of time, but he should still come out ahead of the rest of the pack. Flipnam Zaram staying out. Andrew has stayed out. And now, what we got here, we got Connor on 6-lap old medium tyres. We have Parang on fresh mediums. We have Alex on fresh mediums. Sinful, Travaglio, Skid Solo and Swiss Steak all on fresh mediums. And this is where things are going to get a little bit out of shape, as it looks like Parang has been disqualified because he's parked in a dangerous location. I'm not entirely sure what's going on there for Parang. I think he's lost control of his car, warming up his tyres, and yeah. Lap 23 of 36. We are under safety car conditions as Connor has chucked on a set of the soft compound tyres. He has given up a lot of track position to chuck on a set of the Red Bull soft compound tyres, and that could be a big mistake. Could be a very big mistake for Connor. Remember, he was in a P3. He was a third before coming into the place. He's coming out now in 8th. Behind Skid Solo, behind Travaglio, behind Sinful, all on fresh mediums. Then he's got to get past Sharpie. And then he's got to hope that his soft tyres have the pace and the longevity to try and get himself ahead of Alex, Ferdinand Zaram and Andrew. Safety car should be in at the end of lap 23. So from lap 24 we should be back racing once again. FT Ronk out of this race. Rockstar out of this race. TB Ran, Cardin and Laupi all out of this race. Parang getting himself disqualified as he has rejoined the session. Not entirely sure what's going on here as safety car is in this lap. Andrew will be the pace setter. Will get us underway. We'll keep an eye on Connor as well on those soft tyres. See how he gets on. But this is the guy to keep an eye on right now. Alex on fresh mediums in P3. He has the pace on these guys in front of him. All he needs is the opportunity to get himself in front, and he's going to bolt. So we'll see if he can get past Ferdinand Zaram at the first time of asking on this safety car restart. And it's a good restart there from Alex, and it looks like he is already going to be putting Ferdinand Zaram under pressure. Moves to the inside for turn number 1. Alex, first time of asking, he's going to get past the Williams straight away. He's going to try at least as he goes down the inside into turn 1. Little bit of wheel-to-wheel contact, and oh my god, that's Alex around, and he is out of this race. Alex has gone. Alex is out of this race. The favourite for the race win, gone on the safety car restart. Travaglio now in P4 and Sinful. These two now are the favourites for the race win, I think, as Ferdinand Zaram has lost it as well, and he's dropped down the order. Now it is, can these guys of Sinful and Travaglio keep themselves ahead of Connor, and will Connor's tyres last enough to get himself into a race winning position here? Because Andrew right now has a 2-second lead. He is out in front, and he's on the hard compound tyres, which will get to the end. He does have the worst tyres out of everyone behind him, but he has the gap as Connor there beautifully around the outside of turn 11, which turned to the inside for turn number 12 as he goes through the penultimate corner, turn 13. Oh, it's a little bit of touching on the rear of that Williams as here comes Travaglio straight back, and it's going to be free wide in towards turn number 1 as Connor's going to get through. Sinful down 2 positions. Travaglio side by side with Connor now through turn 1 as, oh my god, that's Sharpie around. Sharpie has gone around, and now the gap between Connor and Andrew 3.8 seconds, and now the hunt is on as we appear to have the same audio issues that we had last week. I believe it happens when people leave the session. Nothing we can do but wait for it to sort itself out, I'm afraid. As Sharpie has retired from the race. I think Ferdinand Zaram's lost it as well, but he's going to keep on going. 3.5 seconds, the gap 3.4 seconds now. 3.3, it is closing down. Andrew is, the pressure is on Andrew now. As Rockstar saying, great work mate in the chat. Not sure whether he's referring to myself or whether he's referring to the race that has gone on so far. It has been a bit of a messy one, I can't lie, with the safety car glitch and the contact model spearing people off on a side by side. That's not what you like to see. But Travaglio and Connor hunting down Andrew for the race win. Alex went side by side with Ferdinand Zaram. Little bit of contact, shouldn't have been enough to spear one of them off, but it did, and it was Alex who got speared off, and that unfortunately brought an end to his race, and he was arguably in the best position to take the win here tonight, as Travaglio and Connor absolutely flying. 1.3, 1.4 seconds the gap now between Connor and Andrew. These guys are absolutely cruising to the back of the Aston Martin. Andrew definitely not having the pace to match these guys, as it looks like Flipman's lost it again. We started with 16, we are back down to 8. We've lost half the grid, some through disqualification, as it was with Palang. Others are through just making mistakes around the Zandvoort circuit, and others giving up quite easily, as it was the case for Carden. Honestly, I don't like it when people come into the pits and just retire that early on. It was only lap 4. There was plenty of opportunity to come back into the race, but Carden, seeing that thinking that his race was over and done with. We will pause 2 seconds, see if we can get the audio to sort itself out. I mean, it's not technically sorting itself out, so we'll open up the audio settings just a second, and then we'll back it out. It might work. Obviously, I'm playing around with a couple of things, so it might work. As that is Skid Solo around, and he has dropped down behind Swiss Steak, and the front three different compounds of tyres on the front three, and it is beginning to heat up. DRS is enabled for Connor and Travaglio, but will their tyres hold on for the end of the race? We're about to start lap 28 of 36. Andrew, our race leader, but not for much longer, because here comes Connor with DRS wide open. He's going to cruise past the Aston Martin. And the question is now, are those soft tyres going to last the distance? Are they going to have the grip? Are they going to have the pace to maintain the gap needed to make sure that Connor can take a win here? Travaglio all over the back of Andrew himself, and it looks like the audio issues are trying to sort themselves out. We're getting a little bit of static as Andrew there runs a little bit deeper, and that's allowed Travaglio to have a little look down the inside. Gets a bit of a rear end snap under braking. That's obviously going to be the rear brakes locking up for the McLaren. Travaglio versus Andrew, and that has allowed Connor to break that 1 second gap. And the question is now, how big of a gap can Connor make? Andrew will not have DRS, but Travaglio will. And here comes Travaglio with DRS activated. He is going to cruise past Travaglio. Flipnams around. Going around again, and this time he is out of the race. He's lost it at turn 3 at the hairpin. Travaglio now up into P2. And I think at this stage the medium compound tyres are kind of equalised with the soft compound tyres. At this stage I don't see that there's going to be a huge amount of pace difference between these two tyres. And the deeper into this race we go, the more it will lean in favour of Travaglio. And at the end of the race, it will lean back in favour of Andrew. So that's the thing we got to keep an eye on. That's the thing we got to figure out. If Andrew can keep with Travaglio, he has a chance of winning this race still. But 1.1 seconds the gap, and I think Andrew now is going to fall out of contention as Connor makes a big mistake, and that's allowed Travaglio to close within that 1 second window. And this is perfect now for Travaglio. He is going to be saving up his ERS, biding his time, and he's going to make this move when it matters. Of course, this is the closest battle that we have out on track, so we're going to stay on board with this one. Looks like the soft tyres may just about still have a little bit of life left in them, but It's not enough to get Travaglio out of DRS. And because of it, Travaglio is just going to be able to keep onto the back, keep onto the rear wing of Connor's Mercedes. And the opportunity will come for Travaglio. He will get that opportunity. Andrew dropping further and further back, and I think, as mentioned, his race is pretty much over and done with in terms of fighting for the win. But he is still on for a fantastic podium, which will be great for him after what happened last week. And the same for Travaglio. Oh my god, that was a rear lock up there for Travaglio, and he has lost it. My god, that was a violent rear lock up for the McLaren. Absolute wow, I have never seen a lock up that violent before. Travaglio will be thanking his lucky stars that he's still in this race, because that could have gone horribly wrong very quickly in terms of hitting the wall and being out of the race. But my god, the rear lockup there on that McLaren was absolutely biblical, and obviously that has heated up his tyres, so he needs to be a little bit careful now with his tyres. He needs to make sure that he gets them back within a good window once again, so he has the grip that he needs to close down Andrew. But I think now that's just given Connor the gap that he needs to take this race win. But what a absolutely violent lockup in towards turn 1 that we saw from Travaglio. I've never seen anything like it. That was, as mentioned, biblical, that lockup. Connor now has free reign to take this race win. His tyres will drop off though, so we will expect to see this gap between Connor and Andrew come down eventually, but the gap is too big now for Andrew to do anything about it. Travaglio, after that lockup, it's going to be very difficult for him to really get onto the back of Connor, but he needs to now absolutely fly around this track, get onto the back of Andrew, because that's what he needs now. He needs that P2 to have himself a hope of getting P1. But that rear lockup has definitely cost Travaglio a huge amount, and it looks like he's just about getting his tyres back within a decent window again. Andrew is slowly closing in on Connor, so those tyres are beginning to drop off. The softs are losing grip as we start lap 33 of 36. It is not over and done with just yet, but it does seem likely that Connor will be taking the race win here. And looks like Travaglio, unfortunately, hasn't got the pace now to catch back up to Andrew. I think he's settling for P3 is Travaglio, but that gap between Connor and Andrew is now starting to extend a bit. Swiss Steak coming into the pit lane to opt for the fastest lap. Let's have a look at the fastest lap. It is currently a 12th flat set by Connor. So there you go, Swiss Steak. You need to gain 1 full second on your personal best. And you have the race leader directly behind you as well, looking to lap you. So we'll see if Swiss Steak is actually able to set this lap. We'll go on board with him actually. He is going for the fastest lap, so let's give him the attention. We'll keep an eye on that gap between Andrew and Connor as well. 3.4 seconds, 3.5 the gap between them. Swiss Steak now through turn 3 on his ERS now as we approach the first sector split. Let's have a look at the time gain. 3.5 tenths. He's getting blue flags though, but Swiss Steaks wants our fastest lap as we go through turn 10. DRS wide, well actually no DRS unfortunately for Swiss Steak. I was going to say DRS wide open, but it's not DRS wide open. 7 tenths improvement. He needs to find 3 tenths in this final sector to take fastest lap. Penultimate corner, now the final corner. Using his ERS, is he going to set the fastest lap? No, he doesn't. He loses a lot of time in the final sector. Lap 35 of 36. Corner still leads by 3.3 seconds. Travaglio has dropped back massively. And he's under pressure from Sinful now. Oh, potentially he's going to be under pressure from Sinful if he drops back a further rate as he currently is. Connor still in the lead on the penultimate lap. .1 the gap between Andrew and Connor. And it looks like Connor is going to be able to hold off here, as I think Andrew's had a bit of a moment there. Lost a lot of time, and yet that is over and done with now. Connor can really let off a little bit and try and preserve his tyres, not really push it too much. He has a 4-second gap now to Andrew. Andrew making a mistake, and oh, that is Swistake who's lost it. Too late to bring out a safety car, but what could have been if that was a couple of laps earlier. Final lap of the race. Connor looks like he's going to be taking home a victory. But it's not over until you get to the checkered flag. Zandvoort can still bite you. And Connor knows that. He is taking this very calm, very cool, very collected from Connor right now as he go through the final few corners. Middle sector. Now into the final sector. Andrew losing out massively again. I think he's made another big mistake, and that has put him under a bit of pressure from Travaglio, but it's not going to be enough. As Connor now to the line, he's going to weave to celebrate. He's going to be taking the race win here for round 2 of the Mad Bull Racing League versus Extreme Racing League, League versus League event. And he's going to be taking the victory for, I believe he is racing for Extreme Racing League here tonight. So that is a big victory for them. Andrew and Travaglio, podiums for Mad Bull Racing. Sinful P4 for Mad Bull Racing as well. Skid Solo will be the last man to cross the line. 7 finishers here in Zandvoort. And that brings an end to round number 2. Travaglio gets driver of the day from the in-game fans, and to be honest, I can't argue with it. I really can't. And there we go, on the podium, the top step is Connor, but he didn't have it his own way here tonight. Just a few costly mistakes from the drivers around him gave him victory in the end. What could have been for Alex? Alex was the man who was the favourite for the race win, but that small little bit of contact with Flip Namzaram sent him around into the wall. And then, of course, Travaglio, the man pushing for the race win. He was going to do a last to first. But unfortunately, the rear lockup into turn 1 cost him tremendously. But it is Connor that takes victory with the fastest lap. Andrew in second place, Travaglio in third from last place, so a great effort from Travaglio. Sinful in fourth, with Skitsolo in fifth, Swissteak in sixth, and Sir Ibo, the last of the finishers, in seventh. Then our non-finishers were Flipnanzaram, Sharpie, IG Alex, Plang, FT Ronk, Rockstar, TB Ran, and Cardin, and of course Laupy, who of course was the first retiree. And of course that brings an end to round number 2. Of course, if we look at the calendar now, we'll see that next time out we will be going to Abu Dhabi next Wednesday on the 5th of July. So we'll be back next week. Until then, guys, I've been Mike. Hopefully you all have a fantastic evening, and yep, good racing on the new game.